some of the provisions are to raise taxes. They are going to be sticking it to tourists to go to that country. Ironically, German tourists as well would be most adversely affected by this, the very country that is integral to this aid package that Greece is really depending on. But all of this is really built essentially, mostly, on tax increases, which is what really bugs Gina Loudon, the conservative columnist, Tea Party extraordinaire, that entitlements and some of these big benefit programs that have been the bane of Greece's existence and ours for a while and continue to be, are not really addressed in a big way, are they, Gina? What do you make of that?
Not addressed at all, Neil. You know, this is all just unmitigated greed. This is a byproduct or a precursor, really, of socialism. It's what conservatives in this country are constantly trying to warn because it's happened here. Look at Detroit. Look at what's happening in California. We really have something to learn from what's happening in Greece. And if you just take simple things, Neil, like just any inflated wages, any inflated pensions that the unions scream about, and everybody says, oh, raising a minimum wage sounds so good, but this is what happens when it runs amok. We better take note right now.
Do you get a sense, though, that I think lenders screw this up a lot, too, Gina, in that they demand, you know, cut, or raise taxes, but they very rarely offer a carrot to the stick, and that is something, either partial loan forgiveness or something like this, that would make the Greeks want to address their pension system, that would make the Greeks want to rein in some of this other stuff. Otherwise, I think the Greeks are just like anyone else, that if someone is sticking it to you, you're going to kind of stick it back to them.
Yeah, I mean, we can't fantasize that lenders are going to get forgiving, really, in these particular situations. And the bottom line is, Neil, we all just need, in the whole world, but especially in America, to take note of what's happening in Greece. We just need to be responsible for what we work to earn and quit demanding things and depending on others to pay for things that we want. Greed always ends in disaster. Look, Neil, you have Greece, you know, the land of Plato and Socrates and Trojan warriors on their knees begging Germany to fund their pensions. How completely humiliating.
No, it is, and it's one of the things that sticks in their craw now as some of these people who are protesting outside Parliament are saying essentially just what you said, that we're beholden to these guys. No, thank you. But yeah. I think what's interesting here is, and a lot of people are going to be debating this for some time to come, assuming this is the deal they cobble together and Greek avoids any default for the time being, it will only kick the can down the road, as you said. But other governments are in similar disarray. They might look at this and say, well, if this is the worst Greece has to put up with, sign us up, because this is very, very encouraging. It might trigger the very lax behavior that has been such an issue, right?
Yeah, and this is how whole civilizations rise and fall. This is why those of us who are so passionate about economics and about capitalism, about actually looking at simple concepts that the whole world can understand, like supply and demand, like working for what you're worth, like working for what you earn. That's why those concepts, those of us who are so passionate about it, are so passionate, because this is what happens, and this is how whole civilizations fall.
It is scary stuff, and it's ongoing. Yeah. Gina, thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks,
Gina Loudon. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the corner of the water. All these concerns.